10 things Brits fear the most. The coats of arms of the United Kingdom, or the Royal Coat of Arms of the United Kingdom, or the Royal Arms for short, contains lions. Did you know what these stand for? We are not going into details about that in this video, but whenever you see lions, live or in a still or moving picture, what emotions do you see? If you gaze long enough, you would wonder if there's anything a lion can ever fear. Yes, courage is one of the qualities of a lion. Is it not appropriate that this courageous beast is one of the symbols of the people of this courageous nation? Don't be naive. As bold as they come across to be, Brits have their fears. They're not all embodiments of fearlessness. In this video, we are going to show 10 things Brits fear the most. We know this from a recent credible survey into fears and phobias that revealed what the majority of Brits are scared of the most. We are going to use the medical terms ending with phobia to define these fears for ease of assimilation. 1. Heights. Acrophobia is an abnormal dread of being in a high place or height. This is the first of the things Brits fear the most. A recently conducted survey from market researchers, YouGov, revealed that heights are Brits' biggest fear of the commonest phobia. Even if that can be argued, as many as a quarter of the population in the survey said they are very afraid of being up high. Furthermore, 35% said they were a little afraid. This phobia is what some people have mistakenly referred to as vertigo, but that is not correct. Many people in Britain do not really like to be off the ground at all. So being on anything from an airplane to a crane, even to a wall or a tall building, could give them excessive anxiety. 2. Public speaking. Glossophobia is the fear of public speaking. To be fair, this fear is not peculiar to the Brits. It takes some training in public speaking to talk before a panel of more than 3 unfamiliar faces. How much more difficult will it be to address a crowd? Thus, our adopted research found that 20% of Britons find the thought of speaking in public too terrifying to just contemplate. And this fear is more common for women than men. The stats reveal that women that said they are likely to be very afraid of public speaking are 2 times the men. We have discovered that the chance of failure, perhaps to get a job or to utter just the wrong word, puts so much pressure on Brits when they are due for public speaking. So when next you go to the UK and find that the bus is dead silent and no one is talking to anyone, you should know that 1 in 5 persons on the bus is having glossophobia or something close to it. 3. Snakes. Ophidiophobia is the fear of snakes. This fear, according to Live Science, has afflicted humans from the onset. We want to avoid being bitten. It's among the commonest phobias. Some people can manifest symptoms such as anxiety, rapid heartbeat and sweating, insomnia upon seeing a snake. About 52% of Brits have one kind or the other of snake phobia. This makes ophidiophobia the 3rd thing Brits fear the most. Interestingly, experts say there are no poisonous snakes in the UK. Whether true or false, many Britons will never have even seen a snake outside a zoo or reptile house. But can you say it's only Brits that have a fear of snakes? What about those of you who are not from Britain? 4. Flying in an airplane. The fear of or strong dislike for flying is referred to as aerophobia. Despite the commonness of aircraft in Britain, YouGov says that around 24% of them nurse some form of anxiety about getting on a plane, while some of these have developed a phobia of it. Again, it's not only in Britain that aerophobia is common. According to Andrew Tilgman, an executive editor, studies suggest that an estimated 50 million Americans have a degree of aerophobia. It isn't just about getting on board and flying. It usually starts from the feeling that the huge flying object will crash. But it goes beyond that. It's more complex than excessive worry. Aerophobia makes people think about what other passengers on board will say of them if they suffer a loss internal of control or create a scene during a panic attack. 5. Spiders. Arachnophobia is a pathological fear or hatred of arachnids, especially spiders. But arachnophobia is a term that is not limited to spiders. It refers to the fear of all types of arachnids, including scorpions and daddy longlegs. People who have this fear usually feel intimidated by the sight of large spiders like the huntsman. These 8-legged creatures are terrifying to about 18% of Brits. This is one of the least surprising British phobias. Many Brits have devised a means of dealing with these friends. They use glasses to catch them or squash them in a newspaper. It's not that spiders would actually be that interested in humans. If they were left where they were, they wouldn't harm anyone. Brits just fear them. A justification for this fear could be that we don't want spiderwebs or cobwebs in our houses, and manufacturing these are what spiders know how to do best. 6. Crowds. The cause of this is agoraphobia. The agoraphobia is the fear of being outside or around many people. Please don't confuse this for glossophobia. It's more intense than that. Glossophobic can get into an open place, even in the midst of crowds, and feel okay when they know they will not be compelled or simply called upon to speak. Agoraphobia often prevents people from leaving their houses, but it goes beyond that, just like other phobias. The affliction or agoraphobia is a little more complicated. Even in their homes, a large open space like a shopping centre, inside public transport, or bus or train stations or parks, the fear of crowds can cause them anxiety. Agoraphobics might get anxious if they find themselves in any situation where it is difficult to get away. According to the Anxiety Forum, No More Panic, as many as 1 in 8 people suffer from some form of agoraphobia. 7. Clowns. Did you know that many people in Britain fear clowns? Those Brits are suffering from coulrophobia. Coulrophobia is somewhat a recent invention. It was coined to explain a common situation among grown-ups with lingering childhood queasiness over exposure to big people who dressed like Bozo. A spooky series of pranks were played in a recent year in which people dressing as clowns would jump out at unsuspecting passers-by. About 12% of Brits are suffering from a genuine phobia of clowns. 8. Enclosed spaces. The fear of enclosed places is called claustrophobia. This fear, according to Anxiety UK, afflicts or will afflict at one time or the other up to 10% of Brits. This is not an uncommon phobia. People develop it not because they are in any form of danger, but because it's a phobia. For instance, they fear something will go wrong when they're in a lift passing through a revolving door. Okay, what danger could there be inside a public toilet or a changing room? 9. Mice and rats. Rats are everywhere. They might be closer to you than you know. They are among the 10 things Brits fear the most. This fear is called musophobia. The fact that we are not too far from these neighbours makes life uneasy for many people in Britain. Unfortunately for musophobes among Brits, there are a lot of mice and rats in their country. Though they don't often see them, 9% of Brits have become very afraid of rats and mice, while another 17% class themselves as a little afraid. 10. The dark. In the movies and musicals, we have been made to believe that a link exists between darkness and scariness. That is why nyctophobia, an abnormal fear of darkness, is a part of life for many Brits. Whenever there is lights out, they are a bit on edge. It's easy to think that this is a baby thing and you will soon grow out of it. However, as YouGov's data suggests, people in their late 20s and 30s are not likely to sleep when the light is off. About 5% of them stated that they were very afraid of the dark. Which of these 10 things Brits fear the most can you identify with? You too likely have one or more of these phobias, whether you are a Briton or not. Please let us know in the comment section below what you fear the most. Thank you for watching this video. Please don't forget to subscribe, comment and turn on the notification bell. This is Learning Canteen.